let me just appeal to all shareholders that this meeting should be short and snappy. There is no cause for us to have a rowdy meeting. I appeal, let us have an orderly meeting. We will Okay, 1 minute. I don't know whether can we have a mic? But I'm sure that the room is not so large. Do you have extra? Don't have any extra. Okay, but you have in the office. Do you have any extra in the office?
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
the truth is, none of the shareholder that you are seeing has a copy of the annual reports. And ever before you arrived there, I had the grace of talking to all the shareholders. And to ask them, none even get a copy, either through the post or electronically. In this grace, it is important for all of us to have a participatory meeting. Give us the grace of suspending this meeting for 30 minutes so that we can study your annual report. Give us the grace of 30 minutes to study your annual report and bring the annual report, give it to the shareholders, let them study it for at least 30 minutes before we can start. Whichever they are going to bring it should be for 30 minutes. Mr. Chairman, do you support what I say?
Well, thank you. I'm still making consultations. I will consider your request. The information I have is that the annual report has been dispatched to every shareholder on record.
The information is wrong. It is wrong. It is the information you have is wrong. The information you have is wrong.
What did the registrar say?
Chairman, that information is wrong. Mr. Chairman, that information is wrong. It's sheer falsehood. None of the shareholders has that annual report. That is why it is important that we have 30 minutes for you to get the annual report and we study.
Registrar.
They have to go and bring it. It is not here. You don't talk in large number. Give someone room to talk. You don't talk.
Will the representative of the registrar please come forward?
Please come forward. All of us cannot be talking at the same time.
Where is the registrar, please?
Registrar, coronation, yes. And I put it to you that it is sheer.
Sir, can you please give him?
Morning, esteemed shareholders. So we can confirm that we posted the annual reports and we have to. Yes, we have the evidence.
Wait.
We have the evidence.
Sir. No, please wait. Please, they may be
members. We are shareholders. We have been shareholder for over 10 years in Nasd, and there is no time they did not send our electronic. Even the aborted one, we had electronic, we have the physical. I came with my physical copy. Nobody give me this copy. And I have my electronic, and I contact many of my colleagues who are the daily members, and they too also have it. If you don't have it, then talk in general. If you don't have it, you don't have it.
Sir,
we have electronic,
please,
we have physical.
What do we want to vote on? What's the motion? Excuse me. There is an agenda. We will stick to the agenda. And I please plead with you that you must also give some respect to all professional parties that are working for NA. Sir, there is nothing that says the annual report will be delivered to you at the venue of the meeting. Excuse me. The registrar says they have dispatched the annual reports to the addresses on their record.
Yes.
Distinguished shareholders. Distinguished shareholders. Distinguished shareholders. Distinguished shareholders. What I'm trying to understand why we have this agitated reaction to an issue that I believe is governed by regulations and law. The registrar has said that they dispatched their accounts. Well, let me put it this way. Let us be reasonable with each other. If they say they have dispatched it and you do not believe it, SEC is in attendance. They are also regulated by SEC. So please forward your complaint to SEC, and SEC will look at it and deal with it. If they cannot show SEC evidence of dispatch of the account. Excuse me, the registrar works. Well, yes, you have brought it. Wait. You have brought it to the attention. Okay, you can take mine. Are there members who have read their report and can volunteer their? Mr. Nona is recognized. Please give him the mic.
Good morning. Let me make an appeal. First, I will want to plead that if you have a small company that is not in the regular market in terms of AGM, you don't expect them to do as well as the regular companies. True or false? True or false? So I will plead with us. Not because I'm on the audit committee, because it's also important that we sometimes, if not most times, help the smaller companies to be able to grow. That means many of us know a number of companies that are delisting today, true or false. And when they want to delete, they pay us peanuts. Yes, they probably have not started paying dividend, but let's encourage more and more of the smaller companies to be able to survive. And that way, all of us will have a long-term benefit. So I will plead with us. After this meeting, we'll arrange, if there are more accounts, those accounts will be sent. And if you don't have enough, we'll find a way of getting accounts to persons who will still be interested after this meeting. Because let's also be fair. If this was one of those big companies, by the time they give us, we leave the annual account and go home. True or false? Mm-hmm. No, I'm not saying with due respect. No, with due respect. Hello. No. Hello, Pastor. Sit down. I didn't say all of us. I said some of us. Hello.
Distinguished shareholders. Okay, I apologize. I apologize on behalf of Mr. Nona.
Okay, no problem. If you think you are, hello.
I know for the fact that
Williams.
I know that you don't eat pop.
You know, I will not ridicule you. But I'm saying hello, with due respect. Please sit down.
Mr. Nona.
Yes, please.
Mr. Nona.
If you feel offended, I apologize. Okay,
Mr. Nona.
Sit down, I apologize.
Mr. Nona.
So please, let's this meeting for a long-term benefit. That's not, yes, please. I don't have a right to tell you because there's a chairman. The chairman also allowed me before I spoke. So if he allowed you, I'm sure you will. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Please. Oh, boy. Distinguished shareholders. Let me just make a general comment, because I think Mr. Nona has touched on it, but I will say that, frankly, a lot of companies do say, and SEC can confirm this, that they don't want to come to the public because of their fear of disruption by some shareholders of their HGM. It is to the ultimate benefit of the economy for companies to list. But those who want to list also want orderly meetings. I have forget the puff issue. I have apologized. Mr. Nona has apologized. Let us go beyond that and let us have the meeting, please. I am appealing to you to please let us have an orderly meeting. I can assure you that the company has learned a lesson from this. And next year, even if they post, I hope you will have with you several copies of the annual report physically at the venue. It is a cost that we have to bear because of the nature of shareholding in Nigeria. Okay, so let us please, I appeal to you, let us go to this meeting. Yeah, and if you are interested in the contents of the report, please leave your email address. You will get a soft copy. 1 minute, please. 1 minute. 1 minute. You will also get, for those who attend and leave their addresses, you will also get a physical copy. Beyond that, if you have questions on the account, can you listen to me first? Please. You can ask questions. Let me tell you, as a shareholder, you have a right to write to the company to ask questions, especially at this time, because you say that at the AGM, you have not received the accounts. Ask any questions after the meeting, direct it to the managing director. He will ensure that you get an answer. I am pledging on his. Mr. Lunge, won't you answer them?
Good afternoon, shareholders. I really apologize to you. I don't think there's anything we can say right now. I mean, this is a difficult situation, and I really appeal to you for us to get through this. What I would say is that there's so many reasons why this has happened. We're truly overwhelmed. We have never had an AGM as highly attended as this. I mean, and that's what Nona was trying to say. Our company is progressing, and we now see that there is a lot more interest in our company. What would have happened is that we would have had these annual reports in a certain quantity to satisfy the attendance, even after sending the reports to electronically and physically. However, I must say that I've experienced this not too long ago with Aradel Holdings, who are on our markets. You know, and I think there's a gentleman here who's saying, so please, I plead with you for us to go on with this meeting. We will try and project it as much as possible. And we will be patient enough to ask questions as the meeting goes on. I plead with you. Thank you very much.
Can we, yes, I understand you are a pastor. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. On that note, can you give us an opening prayer?
Take this company to greater heights. For the shareholders too, we pray that you grant them the strength, good health to enjoy the fruit of their labor. And at the end of this deliberation, we beseech you to grant us the necessary journey masses to our different destinations. These and many more we ask through our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. With that, I believe that God has taken control and we will go through this meeting peacefully. The quorum stipulated by Article 13 of the Articles of Association, 10 shareholders present in person or by proxy. Can the registrar please confirm, just for the records, because I can see that a quorum most likely has been formed.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, directors, regulatory officers present, and esteemed shareholders. My name is Sophie Paul, and I represent Coronation Registrars Limited, registrars to NASD Plc. We confirmed that as at the start of this meeting, we have 30 members physically present and 27 members represented by proxies, with a total of 372,699,834 shareholding, representing 76.28% of the issued share capital of the company. With this information, we hereby confirm that a quorum has been formed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Based on the report of the registrar, I hereby declare that a quorum has been formed in compliance with Article 13 of the company's Articles of Association. Before we proceed to the formal agenda for the meeting, I would like to introduce to you very briefly the members of the Board of Directors. My name is Olutola Mogolurin. I would like to introduce coming in now is Chief Chike Nwanze. To my extreme right is Mr. Oladipo Aino. And to my extreme left is Mr. Ario Olusekun. I believe that Mr. Falowo has joined us virtually. Mr. Abubakar Lawal is, I don't know whether he's online. Yes, I think that's Mr. Abubakar Lawal. Mrs. Olayinka Bolo. Mr. Ebodage. I think he, okay. Mrs. Kenechi Ezezika. Mrs. Fatumata Sukuna Poka. She's joining virtually, I understand. And to my right is Mr. Egwarikide Longe, who is the managing director. We also have here represented this morning in person the company secretary, GIO Nominees Limited, represented by Mrs. Omolola Ikwagu. The registrar is represented by Mrs. Sophia Paul. Securities and Exchange Commission is represented by Mr. Adeyemi. The company's external auditors, KPMG, represented by Mr. Adegoke Oyelami. The chairman of the audit committee of the company is Alhaji Kasimu Garba Kofi. May I inform all present that there is a microphone and amplifying equipment is available. When called upon or when you require to speak, I will request that you start by stating your name and the institution you represent, if any. I would like to inform all members that in accordance with section 23(5) subsection 7, section 235, subsection 7 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, the Register of Directors' Shareholding is available for inspection throughout the meeting. I now call upon the Company Secretary to read the notice of the meeting, which is on page 9 of the annual report. I hope that will not become a sore point. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chairman, sir, distinguished directors, esteemed shareholders. Notice of the 10th Annual General Meeting of NASD Plc. Notice is hereby given that the 10th Annual General Meeting of NASD Plc will hold on Tuesday, the 3rd day of October 2023 at Laku Hotels, 3 Femi Okunu Road, Ikoyi, Lagos at 11 a.m. to transact the following business. Ordinary business. 1, to present and consider the audited financial statements of the company for the year ended 31st December 2022, together with the reports of the directors, auditors, and audit committee thereon. 2, to re-elect the following directors who retire by rotation at this meeting and being eligible offer themselves for re-election. Mr. Olutola Moboluri, Mr. Chike Nwanze, Mr. Oladipo Aino. 3, to appoint KPMG as the auditors of the company and authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors. 4, to elect re-elect members of the statutory audit committee. 5, to disclose the remuneration of managers pursuant to section 257 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. Special business. To consider and if thought fit, pass the following ordinary resolutions. 6, that the remuneration of directors of the company for the year ending December 31, 2023 be and is hereby fixed at 8,325,000 naira only for directors. Proxy. A member entitled.
No, we cannot give, this is a statutory requirement, so please, let us read the notice. Let her finish the notice.
A member and proxy, a member entitled to attend and vote at the annual general meeting is entitled to appoint a proxy from the proxies stated in the notice to attend and vote in his or her or its stead. For the appointment to be valid, a completed and duly stamped proxy form must be deposited at the office of the company's registrars, Coronation Registrars Limited, 9 Amodoji Street, Victoria Island, Lagos, Nigeria, or sent via email to eforms@coronationregistrars.com, not less than 48 hours before the time fixed for the meeting. A blank proxy form is attached to the annual report. Special notice, appointment of auditors. A special notice is issued regarding the appointment of KPMG as the auditors of the company. The election of director age 70 or more. In accordance with section 282 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, special notice is hereby given that the following directors are age 70 or more. Mr. Olutola Moboluri has given notice to the company, and by doing so, hereby further discloses to the members that he attained the age of 71 on October 31, 2022. Mr. Chike Wanze has given notice to the company, and by doing so, hereby further discloses to the members that he attained the age of 82 on November 7, 2022. Mr. Oladipo Aino has given notice to the company, and by doing so, hereby further discloses to the members that he attained the age of 71 on May 11, 2023. Notes, Audit Committee. In accordance with section 4046 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, any shareholder may nominate another shareholder to the Audit Committee by giving notice in writing of such nomination.
Please, 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 let's have a meeting. If you allow her to finish, we'll leave her in time.
To the email of the company secretary, elikwagu@ikoliokabe.com or legalcompliance@nasd.com, at least 21 days before the annual general meeting. Nominations can also be submitted to the company secretary, GIO Nominees Limited, 864B Bishop Aboyade Cole Street, Victoria Island, Lagos. The Code of Corporate Governance for Public Companies issued by the Securities and Exchange Commission provides that members of the Audit Committee should be financially literate and able to read financial statements. We therefore request that all nominations to the Audit Committee should be accompanied by the curriculum vitae of the nominees. The AGM will be streamed live. This will enable shareholders and other stakeholders who will not be attending physically to follow the proceedings. The link for the AGM live streaming will be made available on the company's website at www.nasdng.com. Closure of register of members. The register of members will be closed from the 19th to the 22nd of September 2023, both days inclusive, for the purpose of updating the register of members. A copy of this notice, the annual report and accounts, and other information relating to the meeting can be accessed via the company's website at www.nasd.ng.com. Shareholders who have submitted their email details to the registrar will receive the electronic version of the annual report via email. Updates of shareholders' information. Shareholders are required to update their email addresses and other contact details with the registrars by using this link. It's there, https://crselfservice.coronation.ng. The electronic version of the annual report will be available at www.nasdng.com. Members who are provided their email details to the registrars will receive the electronic version of the report via email. Additionally, members who are interested in receiving the electronic version of the annual report may request it via email to legalcompliance@nasd.ng.com. Accreditation and voting. Accreditation of the shareholders at the meeting venue will commence by 9 a.m. on the AGM day. The voting shall be done by show of hands using the Coronation virtual platform. The registrars will provide adequate guidance on the accreditation and the voting process at the meeting venue. Shareholders' right to ask questions. The rights of shareholders and other holders of the company's securities to ask questions, not only in the meeting, but also in writing prior to the meeting on any item contained in the annual report and accounts is recognized. Please send questions, comments, or observations to the company, 9th floor, UBA building, 57 Marina, Lagos, or the email of the company secretary, likwagu@ikoliokago.com, or the office of the company secretary, GIO Nominees Limited, 864B Bishop Abayade Cole Street, Victoria Island, Lagos, not later than July 20, 2023. Questions will be presented at the annual general meeting and answered thereafter. Dated this 5th day of September, 2023, by order of the board, GIO Nominees Limited. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Company Secretary. The chairman's statement comments page 12 of the annual report, which has been circulated to all shareholders. May I seek your permission to take as read the chairman's statement in the 2022 annual report and accounts? Thank you. If there is no objection, the chairman will move on. I now call on the registrars to explain the procedure for voting throughout this meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I also think maybe you should take notice that some shareholders have asked for a poll on certain items. That's the re-election of directors. So I will also probably advise that you give the procedure also for the poll at the same time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Esteemed shareholders, please be informed that we have captured a total number of 27 shareholders, voting details received by proxy and holding 305,087,563 units, representing 62.40% of the issued share capital. Hence, the voting results will be displayed in addition to the votes cast here today. When you came in this morning, you were provided with the voting device that we have configured to represent your holding in NASD. After the resolutions have been read out, the shareholders are to cast their votes. Kindly take a look at your respective voting parts. The button 1A is for a yes vote, and 2B is for a no vote, and 3C is for abstain. Once the voting has commenced, please press the reference button in accordance with your voting decision, and note that shareholders can change their votes during the voting period. But once the voting period has ended, the last button you press will be recorded as your vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now move to item 1 of the agenda. As I am sure you agree, each member will have received a copy of the annual report, but I know you don't agree, for the period ended 31st December 2022. I would now like to formally lay before the meeting the audited financial statements of the company for the year ended 31st December 2022, together with the report of directors, auditors, and the audit committee thereon. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I now call upon the representatives of the external auditors to read their report in respect of the company's financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2022.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and good morning, everyone. The audited report is available on pages 56 to 58 of the annual financial statement. With your permission, Mr. Chairman, and also board members and shareholders alike, I'd like to take an abridged version of this opinion, if that is okay.
That's okay.
Thank you very much. To the shareholders of NASD PLC company, report on the audit of the financial statements, opinion. We have audited the financial statement of NASD PLC company, which comprised the statement of financial position as at 31st December 2022, the statement of comprehensive income, the statement of changes in equity, the statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and the notes comprising significant accounting policies and other explanatory information. In our opinion, the accompanying financial statement gives a true and fair view of the financial position of the company as at 31st December 2022 and of its financial performance and its cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with IFRS standard as issued by the International Account Standard Board and in the manner required by the Companies and Allied Matters Act, CAMA 2020, and the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act 2011. On the final page, report on other legal and regulatory requirement, compliance with this requirement of Schedule 5 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act. We have obtained all the information and explanation which to the best of our knowledge and belief were necessary for the purpose of our audit. In our opinion, proper books of account have been kept by the company so far as appears from our examination of those books. The company's statement of financial position and statement of comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of account. Signed by myself, Adegoke Oilami, on behalf of KPMG. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I haven't heard the auditor's report. I propose we take the audit committee's report by Alhaji Kasim Garba Kurfi, chairman of the audit committee of the company. Go on. No, go on. It's working. No, that one is working. Please allow him to sit. Please allow him to sit. If he's comfortable to sit, please allow him to sit. Yeah. Why are you behaving like
We have exercised our statutory function under Section 404 sub 7 of the Company and Allied Matter Act 2020, and we acknowledge the cooperation of the management in the conduct of this function. We are of the opinion that the accounting and reporting policies of the company are in accordance with the legal requirement and agreed ethical practice. The scopes and planning of both the external and internal audit program for the year ended 31st December 2022 were satisfactory and reinforced the company internal control system. Having reviewed the external auditor's finding and recommendation on the management matters and deliberated with the external auditors, we confirm that they receive management cooperation in the course of their audit. We are satisfied with management response to the management letters on the audit of the financial statement of the company. Signed, my name Kasim Garba Kurfi, on behalf of the other members, Mr. Nona Awo, Ms. Fiona Ahime, Mr. Abubakar Lawal, Mr. Aiboj Ike Umokode. Thank you.
If in accordance with the Corporate Affairs Commission guidelines, shareholders were requested to send their questions in 5 days before this meeting. And I would like to give other physically present shareholders the opportunity to ask any questions they may have that all may be taken together. I understand no shareholder sent in a question before today, and therefore we will allow a few questions from members. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I think that would be, okay, I think they, okay, 4. That will be all. Mike. Who has the mic?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for this opportunity. My name is Erin Fola Mikafam, a shareholder of the company. I want to start with our logo, motto, creating liquidity transparently. I find it in my experience, you compare NGS and NSD. NSD is not as liquid as NGS. So what are we doing to create this liquidity? For example, if you want to buy free-range farms, you will not get it. If you want to buy farm milk, you won't get it, and many others. Let us just highlighting us how you create this liquidity. I don't know how you create it. Thank you on that. Then I want you to talk on our financials because we don't have the annual report to even ask much of the questions. So help us talk, or maybe you give to CFO to talk on the financials. Aside from that, what of the quarter that just ended now? So what are the performance like for the company? Thanks so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the opportunity. Good morning, Mr. Chairman and the other directors on the board, other regulatory authorities here present, my fellow esteemed shareholders. Good morning, all. The name is Abayomi Adebayo, a shareholder and the national president for Passionate Shareholders Association Incorporated. Chairman, I want to start my point by saying, seeing you on this board, I have a high sense of respect and regard for you because I know you long ago when you were the MD of Crusader Insurance. So we believe that having you on this board, you will share your experience to move this company forward. And regarding the issue that happened this morning, what I'll just say is that no shareholder here will come here to come and disrupt the proceeding. What we're asking for is not too much. Once we have the necessary thing we deserve, no shareholder will come here and make any uproar. So please, next time, the registrars will please take note. And going forward, I want to greet all of us and congratulate us for the 63rd independence of our country, Nigeria. And after that, Chairman, one thing I want to ask here this morning, because I can hear from some shareholders here, it's like most shareholders here do not really know what that word NASD really means. I think somebody on the board can please tell us NASD. What does those acronyms stand for going forward? And after that, I also want to talk on.
Can you keep your questions? Maybe that should be your last one, so I can give opportunity to other people. So
Okay.
if you have 10 more, just pick the most important of the 10.
Some other suggestions I want to give here this morning, which I think we need to learn from what we saw here this morning. I want to suggest that going forward, next in the subsequent AGMs, we need to get a larger and more spacious hall for our meeting, see what has happened here this morning. And I want to talk on our board composition. Seeing the number of directors on the board, I think we have not really complied fully with one of the section of CAMA that requires that there should be 3 independent non-executive director on the board. And also I noticed that when the secretary read the notice, one important item was missing. There is no real item 2, which is a declaration of dividends. And I'm charging the board to please work harder. I think the secretary read that this is the 10th AGM. So going forward, the director should please work harder to please let shareholders have a return on their investment. So Chairman, I am appealing that please next time we should try and avoid what happened here this morning. Shareholders are here to support you, not to disrupt the proceedings. God bless us.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, you can go ahead.
Yeah, good morning.
You can follow him.
Board and fellow shareholders. I will just implore the board.
Name, sir.
Bamishile, Abiola is the name. Bamishile, Abiola. I will just implore the board that we should keep the number of directors to the barest minimum, growing the fact that the company is still growing. And I would have appreciated if the company secretary had read out in detail what the activities of the company is all about, because we have nothing to go about. Yeah, you may be surprised, but some of us don't have an idea about the extent of the activities of the company. Since we don't have the annual report, it should have been well read out, as well as give us the highlights of the financials, maybe the revenue and the profit bottom line, as well as moving forward, you have to have a coordination with the registrar so that you know the number of shareholders that are likely to attend the meeting and make adequate provision for a decent place to have the meeting. Thank you.
Good morning, the chairman, board of directors of National Association of Security Dealers PLC. I want to thank you for having another alternative means of buying securities. The NGX.
Your name, sir?
My name is Alaji Kola Olisaka. The NGX has been on for over 60 years, and because people find it difficult to come into the NGX, this association was created, the NASD, and at least they are trying to help the other small companies or people who cannot meet the strict conditions of the NGX. My only question I want to ask is that why is it that we are not getting dividends? That is the only thing I want to ask. Okay. Other questions have been raised by other members. So thank you, and I wish you continued success.
Thank you very much. I think that will be all the questions. I will try and address I think there are 2 issues of dividends, from both Mr. Adebayo and Laji Saka. So I will address that first. I can assure you that dividends will come, but I cannot predict when, and I'll tell you why. This is a platform for trading shares of companies of all public companies that are not listed on the NGX. Now, when we started, it's a novel platform for Nigeria. And of course, we've had challenges. And those challenges have been sometimes self-inflicted. We chose a platform that was too expensive because we expected larger volumes than we got. So we had to, and I know at that time we were a limited liability company. We then had to convert to a PLC and recapitalize. So our first capital was virtually consumed by the amount that we paid for the trading platform that we used in the first instance, which was the same platform we were sharing with the Nigerian Stock Exchange. So that consumed most of our capital. So we had to recapitalize. And we got our own platform, which is more affordable, more in tune with the volume that we have experienced. Now, the over-the-counter market has taken a while for it to take off. And you remember that, when this over-the-counter market was planned, it was planned as one single market to cater to all securities. However, CBN and the banks decided that they would take over the debt market, not only from a platform like us, but also from the NGX. Part of the problem of NGX, of course, was also self-inflicted. But with the support of CBN, most of the securities that could have come to the over-the-counter market went to the platform supported by Central Bank and the banks, which is the FMDQ. So that reduced the volumes of securities that we can trade. That's number one. Number two, the PFAs were not allowed to invest on our platform. We are trying to rectify that. It's been a long haul, but we are nearly there. That also may explain some of the liquidity issues we are talking about, at least for those who want to sell. If you cannot find fan milk, you should look at the shareholding structure of fan milk. The shareholding structure of companies determine how much liquidity will be in the securities. So if you have tightly held companies, no matter how much you offer, you may not get those shares to buy. But the advantage of this market is to ensure that every PLC or every shareholder in every PLC is able to sell his shares in a market where the price will be discovered on a fair and open, transparent basis. Before this market, what used to happen is that the PLCs that existed in the market that were not listed were at the mercy of the company secretaries and the directors. When there is demand for the shares, they would tell the shareholders, oh, the market is bad, but we have a director who is interested to pay this price. And of course, if you want to sell, they will also tell you the same thing. The market is bad, but we have a director who is interested. The motivating factor for creating the OTC was to end such abuse and to give the investing public who invest in companies that are PLCs the opportunity to go to the market and sell or buy at prices that are market determined, not determined by a director or the company secretary. And you will note that there are some of the companies on the market today that are traded on NASD that had been popular with shareholders before, but you couldn't find them. You couldn't find any way to buy them. Today, you have an open platform to buy them. On the independent non-executive directors, yes, I can assure you that this issue was reviewed at a recent board meeting, and a decision was taken to increase the number of independent non-executive directors. But you also know that this was largely a broker-based market, and the intention was to have broad-based representation on the board to ensure that, you know, various expertise were brought into the board to ensure the takeoff of the novel market. But I can assure you that the issue of non-independent directors is being addressed. Indeed, we had one who resigned, and we have just appointed another. It's a little difficult because in point of fact, when we got the other non-executive directors, we were forced to start paying sitting allowance because you couldn't have invite somebody to be independent director and then say that there are no sitting allowances or no fees. Because we needed that independent directors, we had to introduce fees. Before then, usually the fees, sitting allowance will depend on the vagaries of the market. Don't worry, if you have the qualification and you think you can contribute, you know, send in your name. Space for the meeting, I think we've apologized for that. Really, this is the first time that we have exceeded 15, 20, 30 at any meeting. So it is, as the MD said, we were taken by surprise, you know. But it's a pleasant surprise because it's nice to know that, you know, there are so many people interested and invested in NASD. Meaning of NASD, well, NASD was derived from National Association of Securities Dealers, and it was based on the American model. But basically, it's just an over-the-counter market, a platform for trading securities that are not quoted in the exchange. I think I've addressed the issue of liquidity, and I think, is there any question that I haven't addressed? Okay, on the financials, I will ask them to display the financials. Let me put it this way, just like the capital market, the volumes fluctuate, but we've been cutting the losses, and there has been accretion to the shareholders' funds in recent years. And I can assure you that as soon as we clear the backlog of losses, dividends will come in. There are shareholders on the board also who are anxious for dividends. And I can assure you that, you know, we are all aligned in that respect. Everybody wants the company to get to the point where it can pay dividends. And I can assure you that everybody is making efforts to ensure that the fortunes of the company improve. We don't have, you will notice that there are more PLCs in Nigeria than what is covered. Okay, and one of the major constraints we've had is that SEC has insisted that we cannot trade the shares of any PLC unless that PLC has registered those shares with SEC. Now, we have a catch-22 situation. If you find, if a shareholder comes to us and says, I want to trade these shares, we have to check first whether that company has registered the securities with SEC. If it has not, then we cannot trade it. We've engaged SEC on this endlessly. And I'm sure that, even into the future, we'll continue to engage SEC because there must be a solution, there must be a pathway out of the conundrum. You cannot say, don't trade shares if I haven't registered them. But then there is no penalty for not registering yourself. So there is no incentive for anybody to go and register the shares with SEC. If we are all aligned and we all believe that what we want is to protect the interest of the investing public, I think we must find a middle way to ensure that once you're a PLC, your shares must be available for trade. Thank you. With that, I think I can go on to the next item on the agenda. Yes. Yes. Yeah. No. You've mixed the things together. Let me explain that. The liquidity issue has to do with the structure of shareholdings in companies. You know that there are for a company to be registered, you can register a company as a PLC from inception with 7 shareholders. So if you're a PLC and you have 7 shareholders, the grandfather, the grandmother, the children, and the grandchildren, right? Maybe one errant grandchild wants to sell the shares and it came on our platform and we put it there for trading, right? And the grandfather says, you prodigal child, you want to go and sell to outsiders, and came to the market and bought the shares. Until the grandfather says everybody can sell, there'll be no shares. Even if you make it to be 1,000 naira per share, nobody will sell. That's on the buying side. On the selling side, if you want to sell, you must find ready buyers. Okay. We are in a situation where, even though we are licensed by SEC, PENCOM, not in writing, has not recognized the market for pension funds. I remember that one of the first meetings that we had with any institution was with PENCOM, because we knew how important it was to get pension funds on the market. And it was shortly after the crisis of 2008. And they said, look, this is a market that, well, we don't know about you people, but we see people in your, amongst you who are part of those who think wreck the market. We can't expose pension fund to such a market. And then we're not part of the racket. The stock exchange was, but they didn't ban stock exchange on the portfolio of PLC. You must also understand that, the people who wrote the pension reform proposals actually excluded shares from what pension funds can buy. It took the intervention of stockbrokers, to get that removed and put into the law. So but I think we got one of them as the managing director. So he's talking to them. He's talking to his former colleagues so that they can repent, from their sins. He has seen the light, so he will show them the light. Thank you. Next item. I see some of my friends here, and they are very interested in that. Even one has refused to greet me. I now call on Mr. Longe to conduct the business of re-election of directors, as I'm one of the directors being presented for re-election.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okay, this is a very unusual territory for me, but I'll try and pull this off. I'm told that I'm supposed to be the acting chairman at this point. So please bear with me if I make mistakes. I will try and correct them as they go on. This shareholders request is shareholders request for poll pursuant to section 248(1)(b) of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. 3 shareholders have exercised their right to demand a poll. The registrars will therefore now poll the shareholders in respect of the re-election of directors.
Sorry, I think that are we supposed to put on the accounts and the report acceptance of the, yeah, okay. Can somebody please move a motion to adopt all the reports? So it was too late, yeah. Yeah, because there is no dividend being declared. There is nothing to vote on. Okay, we've laid it and you read, we've answered the question.
Oh, thank you. So I had read pursuant to section 248(1)(b) of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, 3 shareholders have exercised their right to demand a poll. Registrars will therefore now poll the shareholders in respect of the re-election of directors. The following directors retiring by rotation in accordance with section 285 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and being eligible are presenting themselves for re-election. Number 1, Mr. Olutola Mobolore. Number 2, Mr. Oladipo Aino. Number 3, Mr. Chike Wanze. May I also inform the shareholders that pursuant to section 2842 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, the register of directors and record of directors' attendance at board meetings is available for inspection. Special notice is hereby given by the company to the members in accordance with section 278 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 that the following resolution will be moved at the meeting: that Mr. Olutola Mobolore be re-elected a director of the company, notwithstanding he attained the age of 71 years on October 31st, 2022. I therefore move that Mr. Olutola Mobolore, now projected, retiring by rotation and presenting himself for re-election at this meeting, in accordance with the company's articles of association, be and is hereby re-elected as the director of the company. Will a shareholder please second the motion? I think this is a recall to the poll. Yes, please. I mean, I think there's a call for the poll. There's supposed to be, I think that the re-election of each of the directors will be done singly. So this is the first director being called for re-election. There's been a poll called for it. I think the registrars should explain how the poll will be conducted, and it should be undertaken.
You can take
Yes,
the motion, sir.
take the poll. Yes, I've already,
Shareholder needs,
yes. Yes, so somebody needs to second the motion. The motion has been moved. Yes. Your name, sir? Williams? Okay. I now call on the registrars to conduct the voting process.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. The voting period shall last 30 seconds. The voting has now commenced. Kindly vote your choice. Have 15 seconds left. Five seconds left. Voting has now ended. Thank you. We have a total number of 40 shareholders holding over 92,837,526 units voting in favor of the resolution. We have 21 voters holding 220,885,619 units voting against the resolution, and we have 61 shareholders holding 373,723,145 units who abstained from the resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So,
oh, that's the voters, 61 voters. Yes. No shareholder abstained.
abstained. So,
Okay. Oh, okay, sorry, apologies. 24% 0.84% voted in favor of the resolution, 75.16% voted against the resolution.
that is correct.
The resolution was to re-elect me. And 75%
Voted against.
voted against me.
Yes.
Sorry, what it is that just a minute, may I just explain this? I will call you, may I just explain this? These are the shareholders that registered, that polled. Some shareholders did not vote. And I think that their proxies have been sent in, so with the proxies that have been sent in and the polls that have been taken, we have 75.16% voting against the re-election of the chairman. So the resolution having been declared and duly seconded, the votes have been displayed, and the motion has not been carried. Am I correct? The motion has not been carried. The chairman has not been re-elected. So I think we go to the next resolution, the next director. May I just read this again? It's not going to go back. Okay. He has already done that.
Please kindly remain patient while we display the results. Please kindly remain patient. We'll display the results. Okay, so we have a total 24.84% voted in favor of this resolution, 75.16% voted against the resolution, and no shareholder abstained.
I think that we need to, yes, please, can we go on to the next, let's go on to the next resolution, please. One house, please. One house, please. One house, please. I think it's important for us to understand that. Sorry, please, one house, so that we can understand the process of what is going on. I think that we have conducted, as our name suggests, a transparent process. You know, so this is what the chairman has subjected himself to this. I mean, and that is what has come out. It's a democratic process, and it has been concluded. So we go on to the next motion, please. I hereby declare the motion declined. That is, the results were not carried.
Yes.
Special notice is hereby given by the company secretary to the members in accordance with section 278. One house, please. With section 278 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, that the following resolution will be moved at the meeting: that Mr. Oladipo Aino be re-elected a director of the company, notwithstanding he attained the age of 71 years on May 11th, 2023. I therefore move that, please listen, I therefore move that Mr. Oladipo Aino, now projected, retiring by rotation and presenting himself for re-election at this meeting in accordance with the company's articles of association, be and is hereby re-elected as a director of the company. Will a shareholder please second the motion? Yes, sir. Yes. I don't know if the registrar of Zambia, I cannot yet on the board on the screen like that, I can watch that no. I don't know. I don't know. So Zambia said that.
Okay, I think I'll explain the process again.
Okay.
Permit, with your permission, sir. Okay, 1A is for a yes vote, and 2B is for a no vote, and 3C is for abstain.
I think we should move on with the process, sir. So are you seconding the motion, sir? That's Mr. Bamishile Abiola. All right then, sir. So the motion The votes will be displayed. Yes, the votes should be conducted. I now call on the registrars to conduct the voting process.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The voting period shall last 30 seconds. Voting has now commenced. Kindly vote your decision. 7 seconds left. 2 seconds left. The voting period has now ended. We have a total number of 40 shareholders representing 90,533,162 units, representing 24.22% who voted in favor of the resolution. And then we had 25 shareholders holding 283,222,373 units, representing 75.78% who voted against the resolution. And we have 65 shareholders holding 373,755,535 units, and no shareholder abstained.
Thank you. So I hereby declare the motion rejected. Okay. I hereby declare the motion rejected. So can we move on to the next motion, please? I have been advised to call a woman to second the motion when I read it. So please, special notice is hereby given by the company to the members in accordance with Section 278 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 that the following resolution will be moved at the meeting. That Mr. Chike Wanze be re-elected a director of the company, notwithstanding he attained the age of 82 years on 7th November 2022. I therefore move that Mr. Chike Wanze, now projected, retiring by rotation and presenting himself for re-election at this meeting in accordance with the company's articles of association, be and is hereby re-elected as a director of the company. Will a shareholder, a female shareholder, please second the motion? Adenike Elizabeth. Okay, thank you. Will the registrars please conduct the voting process?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The voting period shall last 30 seconds. The voting has now commenced. Kindly vote the decision of your choice. We have 10 seconds left. Four seconds left. The voting period has now ended. We have a total number of 34 shareholders holding 66,232,732 units, representing 18.95% who voted in favor of the resolution. We have a total of 28 shareholders holding 283,222,683 units, representing 81.05% who voted against the resolution. We have 62 shareholders holding 349,455,415 units. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me just explain that some of this is already registered proxies. So I mean, so that you don't, you're not alarmed at how quickly it has come. But just to go ahead, the motion is rejected. The motion is hereby rejected. I now hand over the proceedings back to the chairman, having concluded the process. Thank you.
Thank you, MD, for handling that masterfully. We will now continue the meeting. And the next item is the appointment of Messrs. KPMG. May I hereby move that the directors be and are hereby authorized to appoint Messrs. KPMG as independent auditors and determine the remuneration of the auditors for the accounting year ending 31st December 2023. Can a shareholder please second the motion? Thank you very much. I didn't think you were a shareholder. Oh, okay. Well. I now call on the registrar. The votes will be cast, will be displayed and read out by the registrar.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The voting period shall last 30 seconds. Voting period has now commenced. Kindly cast your vote. We have 20 seconds. 15 seconds left. Five seconds left. The voting period has now ended. Thank you. We have a total number of 39 shareholders who voted in favor of the resolution, representing 92.86%. 3 shareholders who voted against the resolution, representing 7.14%.
Well, since this
And
is not
42
a
shareholders.
poll matter, the auditors are hereby appointed on the motion carried by 39 members against 3.
Yes, sir.
The auditors are doing better than the directors. The next item on the agenda is to elect members of the audit committee. Oh, boy, I think we have a long list of nominees for the audit committee. It will be nice if we can reduce the number. Even those who have withdrawn, we still have 9 people on the list. Let me just read out the names of the 9. Let me read out the names of the 9. And as I call your name, please stand up and introduce yourself, because we should not be voting for people blindly. This is audit committee. It is serious business. Let us please elect people who are knowledgeable, who can hold the board to account. This is not a popularity contest. The list of nominees among shareholders are: 1, Mr. Karimu Garba Kurfi, the correct Kasimu Garba Kurfi, who is the current chairman. Mrs. Fiona Ahime, who is also a member of the committee. Can you please introduce yourself? Mr. Nona Awo. I think most of you know Mr. Awo. Please, can you raise your hand? Because you are standing, they can't. Okay. Yeah, can you introduce yourself, sir? Uh,
Just listen, but listen, that's what they give to us.
Excuse me, this is by show of hands. I understand. This is by show of hands, please. You step down. What's your name? Peter. Your name is not here. No, we have removed your name from the list. We understand you withdrew. We understand you withdrew. This is not something compiled by me. It was compiled by the company secretary. Mr. Awo, please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the records, my name's Nona Awo. I sit on the audit committee of NASD. I'm also a trained economist and a trained mass communicator. And I've had the privilege of being in the market for close to 40 years. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. The next person is Ganiwa Mo. You withdraw.
Yes.
Thank you.
The next person on the list is Erin Folami Gafar.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Erin Folami Gafar. By the grace of God, I'm a chartered accountant, fellow of the institute, and I'm also the CEO of Folami Associates Chartered Accountants.
Okay.
So thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next person is Adelakun Lukman.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Once again, the name is Adelakun Lukman Adeshola, currently an audit committee member of Ikeja Hotel PLC. However, as requested by the chairman, in order for us to have a very peaceful meeting here today and a very each-free one, I hereby withdraw my nomination.
Thank you very much. The next person is David Olabanji. David Olabanji. Okay. Olugbosun Ariyo Ayo. Olugbosun Ariyo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think I've also followed that path. I've withdrawn my nomination.
Thank you, Mr. Ariyo.
Thank you, Mr. Ariyo. The last person on the list, not the last, but the last person on this list is Mr. Adebayo Sulaiman Babatunde. Is he here? Oh, okay. I didn't know that, yeah, but this is Adebayo Sulaiman Babatunde.
That's not his name.
It's another person. Yeah.
I think he's the last on the list.
Yeah, you said you have withdrawn. You have not withdrawn. Okay, Adebayo Oluwafemi Abayomi. Okay. Adebayo, Oluwafemi Adebayo. Okay. Yes, yes, ma'am. Your name is? Can you please project the name again? Was your name on that list?
Yes.
What did you say the name is?
Baka Juliet Eberechukwu.
Juliet.
Yes. Number 3 is there.
Okay. Yes. Kolawole what?
Adams.
Where is Kolawole? Can you please show the
Yes.
list again?
Number what? What's the number?
Okay, Saka Kolawole Adams.
Yes, here am I, sir.
Where are you, sir? Okay, please introduce yourself.
My name is Saka Kolawole Adams Alaji. I'm the Deputy Managing Director of First Courier Services Limited. In view of what some of the people have said here, I want to step aside. I want to withdraw.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3. Let me read the names that I have now who seem to have survived the list. Mr. Kasimu Garba Kufi, Mrs. Fiona Ahime, Mr. Nona Awu, Erin Folami Gafar, Adebayo Oluwafemi Abayomi, Juliet Eberechukwu Baka. Okay. That will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 nominees for 3 positions, I believe. Okay, well, no. Maybe you want to step out for them to see. They are your electors, you know, so. You know, at least the current chairman is addressed you today, so we can't say you don't know him. He's not a director. He's chairman of audit committee. Hello. Let's have one meeting, please. Now you have seen the candidates. So how do you want to conduct this one?
Okay, so esteemed shareholders, please note that you have to vote for only 3 candidates. So once I call their names, please indicate by raising up your hand, and my team would take the count of the votes.
INEC, are you going to remember those who have voted 3 times?
We'll do the counting.
They know the rule. You mean the politicians don't know the rule? Okay, please, let me also reiterate. You can only vote 3 times, oh. 3 times only. Okay. Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. We'll start now. All those in favor of Mr. Kasimo Garba Curfy, kindly indicate by raising up your hands. One house, please.
We are not shareholders.
Hands up. Once we are done conducting
No,
the votes,
I have-
we'll let you know
I
when
have-
to
I
put
have
your
some-
hands down.
I have people who are voting. I have people who are voting for capital bank.
Thank you very much. Kindly lower your hands. All those in favor.
Wait. You didn't count here. So please repeat the vote. Okay, the directors who want to.
So,
Okay, take the directors that did not vote. It's for Alhaji Kufi.
directors. Please, let's just take the vote again.
Okay.
Sorry, for clarity and transparency. All those in favor of Mr. Kashim Ogariba Curfy, kindly indicate by raising your hands. Please leave your hands raised. I'll let you know when to lower it.
Peace. We don't know how to
We are
fix.
collating the results.
We don't know how to
We don't-
fix teeth that are knocked out. Oh, so
Kindly lower your hands. Thank you. All those in favor of Mrs. Fiona Ahimie, kindly indicate by raising your hands. Kindly keep the hands raised. Kindly keep the hands raised. Apologies. Kindly lower your hands. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All those in favor of Mr. Nona Awo, kindly indicate by raising up your hands. One hand, please. Please keep your hand raised if you are voting for Mr. Nona. Hands still raised, please. Kindly lower your hands. Thank you. All those in favor of Henry Folami or Lola de Balogun Gafa, kindly indicate by raising up your hand. Please keep your hands raised. You have only 3 votes. Please remember that you have only 3 votes. Please, hands up if you are voting for Gafar. We are concluding. Kindly lower your hands. Thank you. All those in favor of Adebayo Oluwafemi Abayomi, kindly indicate by raising up your hands. Remember, only 3 votes. Please keep your hands raised. We'll be done soon. If you're in favor of Abayomi, please keep your hands raised. Please keep your hands raised, Abayomi. We are not done. We are not done counting. Kindly lower your hands. Thank you. All those in favor of Baka Juliet Eberechuku, kindly indicate by raising up your hands. If you've made 3 votes, your vote is void if you've counted. Are we done? If you voted more than 3 times, your vote is void. Are we done? Are we done? Kindly lower your hands. Thank you. Kindly be patient whilst we collate the results. Thank you very much. Kindly remain patient whilst we collate the results. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, You have voted. You should wait for the results. Abba. Before you rejoice, let's get the results first. So that your joy is not short-lived. So let us get the results first. One meeting, please. One meeting. Quiet, please. There are people still. We have the highest number of votes. Adebayo Oluwafemi, 40 votes. Followed by Nona Awo, 38 votes. We have a tie between Baka, Juliet, and Casimo Kofi. Hello. So we will have to repeat the votes between Garba Kofi and Juliet Baka.
Would the nominees please step forward? Mr. Curfy. Okay. Okay, we are starting all over again, please. All those in favor of Mr. Kasimu Garba Curfy, kindly indicate by raising your hands. Kindly indicate by raising your hands, please.
Hello. I do not want to influence any vote, but I think we should reflect on the capacity of who can chair the committee. Okay. Excuse my shobolation.
If you are voting for Garba Curfy, please, your hands are still raised. Kindly lower your hand. Thank you. All those in favor of Baka Juliet Eberechuku, kindly indicate by raising your hands. Kindly indicate by raising your hands if you are voting for Eberechuku. Kindly lower your hands. Thank you.
From the results given to me, No, we must announce. Well, okay. I, as the returning officer, will announce the result. Huh? Okay, no problem, no problem. And if you don't like what I call, you can go to court. Anyway, the votes are Garba, Kofi, 24, and Juliet Baka, 45. So the audit committee of the company for the following year will be as follows. Adebayo Olufemi Abayomi, Juliet Baka, and Mr. Nona Awo. The directors have nominated Alhaji Abubakar Lawal and Mrs. Olayimika Bolo. The third member will be nominated by the board in due course. Hello. We have. When you are making noise, you cannot hear me. Okay. Okay, item 12 of the agenda is disclosure of remuneration. The next item on the agenda is the disclosure of remuneration of managers. In accordance with section 257 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, the remuneration of managers of the company for the financial year ending December 31, 2022 are to be disclosed at the company's annual general meeting. I think that has already been stated in the report. The next item on the agenda is to fix the remuneration of directors. Hello. The director's fees for the financial year ending December 31, 2023 be and is hereby fixed at 8,325,000 only. Will a shareholder please second the motion? What's the name? Eh? Mwogu Chinyere. Okay. Can those in favor, well, can you, do they use their machines to vote?
Yes, please remember 1A is for a yes vote, 2B is for a no vote, and 3C is for abstain. The voting has now commenced. We have 15 seconds left.
Well, I am asked to let you know that the 8 million is for everybody on the board,
5 seconds
not
left.
for one director.
Yes. The voting has now ended.
Okay, some
We have a total number of 46 shareholders representing 92% who voted in favor of the resolution. 3 shareholders representing 6% who voted against the resolution, and 50 shareholders with 2% who abstained. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
shareholders. Now it comes to remuneration of directors, you are abstaining. Eh? Okay. I now declare the motion carried. Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, this is my last meeting. As chairman of this company. Actually, before this meeting, I have seen the executive proxies. In respect of the re-election of the 3 directors retiring by rotation. My colleagues and I had very little doubt that we will be re-elected. Let me assure you that the 3 of us are reconciled to the possibility of our removal from the board at this age. On July 20, 2023, members of the board received a letter from Mr. Nonso Okpala, the Group Managing Director of VFD Group PLC, advising the 3 retiring directors, Chief Chikenwanze, Mr. Oladipo, and I should withdraw our nomination for re-election on account of our age. He asserted that NASD is best placed to carve a distinct niche for those dominated by the leading exchanges, FMDQ and NGX. He also stated, and I quote, "I believe NASD should be uniquely positioned as the preferred exchange to serve the younger generation with a suite of alternative investment bouquet and a mobile last mile delivery system." He concluded by stating that NASD risks being positioned as unwelcoming to the younger generation that we seek to move. For stockbrokers who interact regularly with NASD, they know the allegation of lack of new products is not true. Even Mr. Okpala knows his allegation could not be true, because we know that he has in recent times put pressure on the MD to get his company to replace the Nigerian partner on a unique offering of NASD in the digital space, recently approved by SEC for a sandbox trial. I can also confirm that NASD mobile app has been tested with some stockbroking firms and has been launched. However, beyond the issue of the product offerings of NASD, we know there may be other reasons why NASD has excited Mr. Okpala's interest. He believes his group are significant shareholders and therefore must be consulted when important decisions are to be taken. In a meeting with me, he seemed to have been disappointed that his group was not involved in the recent appointment of an independent director as a major shareholder. I told him that his company was represented on the board and that the board will not be teleguided from outside the board. VFD officially holds 6.95% of the shareholding of NASD. There are at least 3 shareholders with larger holdings who have not identified themselves as major shareholders or demanding board deference to them in its decision. It is possible that VFD may have subsidiaries, associates, and nominees holding shares in NASD. The proxy war has, of course, revealed the character of the alliances in this war. In reaction to Mr. Okpala's letter, the board set up a committee to engage with him and inform him that the board governance committee, headed by Chief Nwanze, had indeed initiated steps to refresh the board and should allow the board to go through its program. He went to the meeting in the company of Mr. Victor Ogenwanyi and VFD's chairman. We declined his request that we should invite NGX to the meeting. The chairman of NGX had also called a few members, including myself, to intimate them that on the basis of a paper brought to the board by the group CEO of NGX, the management of NGX had been authorized to vote in support of the VFD group's effort. It is noteworthy that the board meeting in which NGX joined the war was Mr. Okpala's first day on the board of NGX. The proxy warriors had made it clear to us at the meeting, and also with me, that the only other option we had was to give a timeline when the 3 of us in their crosshairs will step down. We chose not to be stampeded off the board by those who have no appreciation for the labor of love that brought this trading platform into being. The grinding, pioneering work to develop the structures for the market, and the fine point of building confidence in the market amongst all stakeholders. The second part of my remarks today is really to thank all shareholders, without exception, and members of the board for their cooperation while I presided over the affairs of the company and the board. I also thank the staff who have had to bear the brunt of the pioneering effort to bring this company from the drawing board to reality and for sustaining the company for over 12 years. I have to pay tribute to the founding managing director who led the team of pioneers and who retired in 2022. I, however, reserve my special thanks to those who were at the origin of the idea of the over-the-counter market for Nigeria. I thank them for their pioneering efforts and staying the course. Your commitment to this project over 30 years ago, your resilience and courage ensure the realization of the dream. Notwithstanding the challenges, in spite of the opposition of the Nigerian Stock Exchange and the intimidation of stockbrokers who supported the idea of NASD before the intervention of SEC in the governance of NSC. In this regard, I thank especially Mr. Oladipo Aino, who assumed the chairmanship of the Capital Market Committee's NASD Project Subcommittee when I left the capital market for a season. And Chief Chike Nwanze, who from the first day has lent his support to the project. Today, the two of them, along with me, are in all probability, well, we have now been voted out. Where a proxy war spearheaded by some shareholders of the company for being over 70 years age. Interestingly, Chief Nwanze, who was 70 years when NASD was licensed, was nonetheless invited to the board, strictly on merit. Mr. Aino was no less deserving on the board of NASD. The two were called to serve on the board because what they brought was more than just the money they invested. On behalf of the capital markets, I thank them for their sterling contribution to this expansion of the frontiers of the market. Like most frontier men, they are bound to face risks. However, this is one needless risk they did not need to worry about. The proxy war was launched by the last count some shareholders, 3 of whom are represented on the board, and who at no time took advantage of their privileged membership of the board to express their concerns about those of us who, on account of age, are projecting an unwelcoming posture to products that will attract the youth. I can attest that the director served self-sacrificially, giving up fees and sitting allowances, and even providing professional services pro bono. My hope is that those who remain on the board will educate those who claim they now control the company that this is a public interest company. And unlike ordinary companies, have fiduciary responsibilities to not only to its shareholders, but the investing public as well. It is not a company in which narrow business interest of a shareholder or a confederation of shareholders can be elevated above the interest of other stakeholders. The broad ownership structure at inception ensured that no shareholder will interfere with management nor hijack transactions to serve its own business interests. I hope the Securities and Exchange Commission and the board of NASD will continue to ensure that. At the board meeting earlier today, I resigned my position as chairman of the board, effective from the end of this AGM, and a new chairman in the place of a new chairman, Mr. Kayode Falowo, has been elected at the board meeting. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this meeting. I bid you farewell. I'm not leaving the capital market, but I have told those who were bigger than them that they met me in this market, they will leave me in this market, God willing, because I'm not about to die or ride off into the sunset. There is a lot that the capital market can achieve. And today, today, for the first time, we have stockbrokers in the cabinet of the government. Not only do we have a stockbroker in the cabinet, the governor of Central Bank is also a stockbroker. And therefore, I expect that our financial system will be expanded and will be more balanced in the outlook of CBN in developing the economy. Thank you very much. I will now ask. Yeah. Well, 2 minutes. Can you take 1 minute? Okay. But like,
Chairman,
yeah,
on behalf of the shareholders.
you're not the only shareholder that was freely elected.
Yeah,
I think
no,
there were 3 of you.
No. Re-elected.
Oh, from the re-elected. Okay.
Old block.
Okay.
Okay. I want to thank the 3 exiting directors for
The 3 retired directors.
exiting.
Exiting. Okay.
Yeah, directors for the roles that they have played in helping the company to get to this level. But one thing that is certain is that life is a continuum. Even the persons who will be coming will also one day go. Just like all of us will not live on earth forever. So we want to thank you for the roles that you have played. But for the records as well, one of the things that has become a tradition amongst us is to thank directors when they leave, especially when we consider the work that they have done as being noble. Again, without speaking on behalf of the directors, for a number of years, they never earn fees, they never earn sitting allowance. So it's on that note that I will want one of us to volunteer to lead the family song of thanking them for being a good fellow and for the role that they have played, and that the good Lord will continue to guide their efforts in their new. Certainly, given their age, they are not likely to have new endeavors, but they will strengthen the endeavors they are already.
Sure.
Okay. So thank you, Mr. Chairman. So on that note, Mr. Chairman, please permit me to hand over to Abayomi, since he's already indicating interest, though I'm not sure how good he is in the choir of his church, but he will prove that to us at the end of the song. Thank you.
Honestly, Mr. Chairman, we are very happy for what Mr. Nana said, which some of us did not know before. It means you have really paid a lot of sacrifice. We really need to appreciate you. And the way we'll go about is that the 3 directors they will remain seated while other people in the hall will stand so that we can honor them and we'll take the song together. The 3 directors involved are to be seated and the other people will remain standing. Shout out, let's go. For they are a jolly good fellow. For they are jolly good fellows. For they are jolly good fellows. And so say all of, one more time. For they are jolly good fellows. For they are jolly good fellows. For they are jolly good fellows. And so say all of us. And so say all of us. And so say all of us. For they are jolly good fellows. For they are jolly good fellows. For they are jolly good fellows. And so say all. 3 goes up for the 3 directors. God bless you, sirs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will now call on the managing director to give a vote of thanks, to the shareholders.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, shareholders. I know that we started on a very stormy note, but I thank you immensely for enduring the discomfort, for enduring the lack of the annual report, which you will rectify. And we also thank you for the support that you have given the company. NASD is a special company. It takes a lot of effort to build this company. It is a provider of a platform. So as it is, you have to get businesses to work to bring NASD alive. We have commenced that process. When you get the annual report, you will see a lot of what is being done in NASD. Our effort this year is to strive to pay a dividend. We are working on it. We are doing everything possible. As Mr. Gafar said, in our third quarter, we have shown a profit, and we want to continue to sustain that momentum. Everything is being done to take the company in the direction it is going. I nostalgically, emotionally thank the directors who are exiting. It is difficult to say how much they have done. But as we go along, we are going to build on the foundation that they have laid, and we are very sure that NASD will approach its pride of place in the Nigerian financial system. We are on our way there. Thank you very much for coming, and I hope you go back to your destination in safety and security. Thank you.
I think we started the meeting with a prayer. Can somebody please dismiss us with a short prayer? Mr. Saka Kolawole, you have been nominated to give us a closing prayer.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Amen. Oh Lord Almighty, we thank you for bringing us here safely and for having this meeting successfully despite the early issues. As we prepare to go to our different destinations, we pray that you give us journey masses so that next time when we meet again, we will have cause to give glory to the holy name. Fatiha again. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Amen. 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 Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wassalam. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.